Hey everyone, welcome back to the Distinct Mastering YouTube channel. My name is Freddie. Today, we're going to talk about the Fabfilter Pro-R 2. It's brand new, just came out, I just upgraded, haven't even used it. We're going to explore it together, and we're going to compare it from the original Pro-R that I am a frequent user of. So, before we get into it, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and that bell notification will keep you up to date on future videos. Now let's get into the Fabfilter Pro-R 2. Okay, I've got a quick little Ableton session I put together for this, and before we get into listening to the Pro-R 2, I wanted to compare the differences. So on the left, I have the original Pro-R, and on the right, I've got the Pro-R 2. As you can see, there are subtle differences to the interface. They've introduced some new features, and let's explore some of them. So the original Pro-R here at the top left had brightness, character, and distance. Now we've got pre-delay, character, thickness, and distance. Plus you have a sync button here for the pre-delay, and you have this new modern vintage and plate option here. You have your normal space, and then you have your decay rate, which has moved. Now instead of the decay rate, they have the brightness here. And so it was decay rate, stereo width, and mix. Now you have brightness, width, ducking, and mix. There's also a new auto gate feature, and that's an interesting feature. We're going to check that out in a little bit. And there's a freeze button. Now I use the freeze button on the Ableton Reverb quite often to make ambient sounds. And if you're curious to know how I do that, leave me a comment down below and I can make a video. I'm really excited that the Fabfilter Pro-R 2 has a freeze button because the reverbs in the Fabfilter Pro-R are amazing. So this is going to be a good feature for me because I do use that. And another thing that's different, if you look at the window here of presets, you get just this drop down arrow. So I'm very used to that. But in this setting, you get a different type window where you have like this 3-column layout. It's a little different. It's going to take me some getting used to, but you know, it will be what it is. And the good thing about this update is they have a favorites knob with the star here. So a favorites button, I'm sorry, with the star here. So that's great because I do often look for my favorites and then I'll go to some of my favorite presets and I'll customize from there. So now I could just star them. Here's the version 1 presets folder. So it looks like they have all the presets from version 1 right here. And then there's this is new. This is import IR, which lets you choose an import response file. You can import a WAV or AIFF and it'll convert the reverb and EQ settings to best match its sound, which is pretty crazy. So we can go ahead and check that out too shortly here. But before we get into listening to it, let's just, the bottom looks the same. You have the decay rate EQ and then your post EQ and your standard in out, all the same here. Analyzer. So here's the pre-delay on the old one. And now they moved it here. But what they made room for, and you can't see it in Ableton, is this section right here that has nothing, is now surround sound. So they support Dolby Atmos with this reverb. I'm sure if I opened this in Pro Tools, I would be able to view that. However, I don't have a Dolby Atmos set up, so I wouldn't even be able to test that in this studio. But that's really cool that they've incorporated Dolby Atmos into the reverb unit. And then you have your typical, your keyboard here and MIDI learn. So very interesting stuff. Let's get into this reverb unit. So I went ahead and loaded up a little clap loop here. Claps are a great thing to put reverb on, obviously. It's got its own reverb a little bit. So, you know, what we can do is we can try to cut that out real quick so you can hear the actual Fabfilter reverb. Let's try it like that. Oh, wait, whoops. There we go. This will give us a little bit more. So we're not mixing the two reverbs together. I just want to hear this thing in all its glory. There it is. So this is the default setting. It sounds great as it is. Let's try this pre-delay. That's cool. I like this new sync button. I was playing with this a little bit before the video because you can delay and offset the pre-delay by the tempo of your song, and that's a cool effect. I think I'll be using that in some of my productions. Or you can go before. Oh no, not before. Doesn't do before. Zero's here, sorry. So that's pretty cool. Oh wait, no, see now, wait, now we're on 50%. Yeah, so when you move it to a sync, it changes the percentage value, whereas this is in milliseconds. Okay, that's what I was confused about. So do note that. Now, one thing to note, if you are putting this on a send like I am, you're going to need to change the mix to 100%. By default, it's not at 100%, and none of the presets I was skimming through were either. So keep note of that, because then you can lower the send. All right, let's try the character. Play around with this. This is really cool. I like that. Thickness. I love that. Then you get more distance, less distance. That's awesome. I used to use the brightness a lot. Now the ducking, I'm wondering if I haven't used this much yet, so is this auto ducking? Let's see, let's roll over the intelligent ducking feature. It's a fast and easy way to get better separation between dry and wet signals. So it must be using some type of AI to automatically try to duck. I bet you'll be able to notice this more with a fuller sound instead of a clap. Let's try this auto gate. This is cool. You can get some real 80s-ish type sounds with this. It's like a gated reverb trick, and I talked about that in a previous video a long time ago. Yeah, that's awesome. And the freeze button is cool. So watch this. Let's hit the reverb. Let me get a little more. Turn this off. So there, it just froze that reverb. Once again, if you're curious to know how I use the freeze button with reverb, drop me a comment below and I'll make a video on that. So the Fabfilter makes it really easy to adjust your reverb and your decay EQ. You can really customize your reverb very easily. Let's roll through some of these presets. See, and like I said, everything is defaulting. Oh, there you go. Full screen view. Very cool. Just like the last one. It's a car, closet. They've got some interesting presets here. Ambient, so small. Let's try glue verb. And I want to. Oh, that's nice. Fabfilter makes great plugins. Yeah, that's cool. Very cool, very cool. Loving that. Noticing the output was higher. That's interesting. Notice the output down below on some of the presets are not always 0. So pay attention to that because you might want to flatten that back out. The input is lower on this one too. A bass room. Let's try this on a piano. I loaded up a piano here. And let's go for turn this down. Let's go for Studio B. Vocal whisper. That's nice. And I always loved how the Fabfilter had the post EQ, because oftentimes with other EQs, I'll just throw a EQ right after it in the chain and just cut out some of that mud that the reverb might create. So all in all, it's definitely a great unit. You know, it's going to take me a little getting used to. I love the fact that I can favorite presets now. I love the fact that they left the version 1 presets. That way I won't have to go back and forth between both units, and I can actually dig around and favorite the ones that I used a lot. So that's cool. Let's try to do something with this. So I'm just quickly going to load up a sound here. Let me try to find something with bear with me while I load something up. Let's try a one-shot clap. Let's do classic. And we'll just load this up. So look at that. It just loaded up that clap, and it tried to match the characteristics and the tone to a reverb, which is interesting. It looked like it adjusted the EQ of it. It didn't change anything up here. Oh no, it did change something up here because it loaded up classic house clap. That's crazy. So that's an interesting feature that I'll probably be playing with a little bit. So the Pro-R 2, once again, just came out today. If you're interested, make sure you go get a copy of it. There's an upgrade price if you already own Pro-R. The email just came out today when I'm recording this. So this will be out in a few days for you next week on my weekly Wednesday channel. Thanks again for watching this. If you have any questions, shoot me a comment down below. Please do hit the like and subscribe button. The bell notification will keep you up to date. It really does help me out. And my name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and have a great day.